Hey everybody, welcome back to Prepper Junkie. Today on the table we have a comparison video between the Knight's SR15 and LMT Mars L complete rifle. This is the battle of the big boy, folks. Let's get this going. If you're going to carry a gun, you need a great holster. I personally use betterholsters.com for my concealed carry, for my out the waistband carry, and I use their gun belt also. They have over 450 models in stock, 50 different colors, 100% made in the US of A, a 30-day money-back guarantee, and a lifetime warranty. What more could you ask for? Check out betterholsters.com. All right, before we even get started on this, folks, this is just obviously my opinion. Your opinions are going to vary. So there may be some things that I like and I dislike and you disagree with me and you prefer the other way. That's okay. This is just a fun video, just doing a comparison between the two, showing the different features, because in my opinion, from the guns that I have reviewed, these are the best two AR15s, period, that I've reviewed. So that's what I want to do, a comparison test. They always get compared which one is better. So we'll go over the features, the pros and cons, and you guys can tell me at the end. I'll give you my opinion and you guys can obviously put your opinion in the comments and which one you prefer. So right off the bat, while I'm holding these, let's talk about the weight. Knight's comes in at about 6.5 pounds and the LMT comes, without everything obviously on it, the Knight comes in, the LMT comes at approximately 7.4 pounds, almost just about a pound heavier. Okay, so we are going to start off with the Knight's SR15. We're going to start at the buttstock. Now this buttstock does not come with it. This is a B5 SOPMOD stock. Love these stocks. It probably is my favorite stock on the market. It does come with a Magpul stock, so that was something that I immediately upgraded and changed out. So for me, I don't know if you want to look at it as a pro or a con. It was a very basic Magpul stock, certainly not worthy of going, in my opinion, not worthy to be on the SR15. I have nothing against Magpul, but it was a very basic Magpul stock. Just wasn't a fan. And the LMT actually does come with the SOPMOD stock, which I already told you is my favorite, so straight off the bat, LMT wins that for me. But anyway, let's get down to business. We do have a mil-spec buffer tube obviously right here, and you'll notice it's not the kind of the black standard buffer tubes that you see on most AR15s. This is because it has a dry film lubricant on it, and that's why it has that slightly different color. Moving to the upper and lower receiver, 7075 T6 aluminum from the upper and lower. These iron sights actually do come up with the SR15, and they are very, very nice iron sights. I do like them a lot. They're a very nice upgrade. Now, they do come with a standard, they do have their own ambi charging handle, which work great, but I do prefer Geisley, and I have switched them out on both of my rifles. But just so you know, it does come with an ambi charging handle. And then we have everything obviously you'd expect, you know, your forward assist, your dust cover, your brass deflector, nothing super obviously different there. 1913 pick rail the whole way along on the top there. Moving down to the lower, this is where we're going to see some of the things that one may be better than the other. So moving down, you have an ambi safety. Both have ambi safeties, and I love ambi safeties on my ARs. Now we do have a bolt release, but not a bolt catch. So you can pull the bolt back. Let me just do it on this side. So pull the bolt back, and you can lock it in place, and then you can let the bolt go home from here, but it won't catch it. So you can't pull back and catch it. Won't do that. Okay, so that's one of the big differences. And then on this side, you do have obviously an ambi mag release right here. The lowers are excellent. I mean, as you would expect, it's a Knights gun. The lowers are very, very nice. Nothing to complain about. I did change the grip out to K2 Plus grip on both, so they do come with slightly different grips. One of the things I almost forgot to mention is, obviously you have your castle nut here, but and behind that castle nut, you do have a piece on here where it allows for QD sling mounts on either side. So that's a nice addition to the gun. Okay. One of the things I really like to do is the wiggle test. It's not, again, it doesn't affect the guns in any kind of way. It's just something I like to do to see the tolerances between them. The Knights does have some wiggle in there, which seems to surprise me. I don't know if you own a Knights, I'd be curious if you guys do that and if you get any play in there. Now again, it's not going to affect the reliability of the gun in any kind of way. It's just something I like to check, and something that actually kind of annoys me. I prefer no wiggle, but it is what it is. Okay. Inside here, you have a upgraded bolt carrier group from Knights, where they've made advancements to the AR15, so it does have some benefits in here to make it more reliable. Now, sure, could you still break the bolt? Absolutely, but they've taken steps to improve this bolt carrier group, which I don't want to go into all the details. I do have other videos up going into nitty-gritty details. I want to keep this video a little lighter than that, but it is a step up from a standard bolt carrier group, and they have made some very, very good changes in there to improve that. Now, this is their handguard. Solid handguard, really like it. The overall dimensions are really good. I can get a nice C-clamp on there, tons of M-lock slots to go in there, and you have QD sling mounts for either side right here. It's a 16-inch barrel, it's a 1-in-7 twist, it's a cold hammer forged barrel. It has a mid-length gas system. Now the gas system is an improvement also on this gun, how they do it. It's kind of hard to even show you on here, but they'll put the gas block on there, and then they'll have a lug that goes down and screws it and clamps it in place. So it's an upgraded gas system. It works really, really well. And again, that is another thing that Knights does to their guns that the LMT does not. You do have, again, another backup sight obviously right here, and the gun will come with, not this, it does come with a different flash hider. It's a Knights Armament flash hider. It's a 3-prong, and it's designed to be used with their suppressors, and so I don't have that on here. Some of the drawbacks to the Knight is to take this rail off. You actually need specific tools from Knights to take these off, which kind of is a downfall for me. So it's got proprietary parts. Again, taking this handguard off is not as easy as taking a different handguard off, like a standard AR15. The bolt is proprietary also. So that it's not really, I wouldn't say it's a downside, but if you are looking for parts, it can be a nightmare to get hold of spare parts for Knights. Actually getting a hold of a Knights rifle in general is a bit of a nightmare. You typically have to sign up for wait lists, and typically you're waiting for a while. The other thing I don't particularly like is just a little bit too much wobble in there for me. I would like that to be a little tighter tolerances. Again, it's not a big, I'm just trying to give you guys details of the gun, the things that, again, that I like and what I don't like. And then it doesn't have the bolt catch here, just the release. So it's not a completely ambi-lower, just that one piece right there. So shooting these guns, they're fantastic. I love Knights. They are a fantastic AR-15. Moving on to the LMT. So as I said, this buttstock does come with it, so you don't need to upgrade that. I do love it. Oh, we should actually talk about the trigger. Stepping off too fast there. This trigger is a 2-stage trigger. You have a first stage, it's about 2 pounds or so. Then you've got your brake, and you've got the reset, a little bit of let out. Pretty tactile and audible, and a decent brake. They're pretty nice triggers. I didn't feel the need to upgrade the trigger. However, if you've used a Geisley, say an SSAE trigger, it is a better trigger than what comes in the Knights, just so you know. One of the things that I also forgot to mention is when you're moving this action, it's as smooth as butter. It's very, very, very nice. Okay, so back to the LMT. Stock comes with it, nice touch, love that. Again, you may or may not like these, but these are my favorite. You have the same gray mil-spec tube as the Knights. It's got that dry film lubrication on it again, and that's why it has that gray color. Got your castle nut. It doesn't have the piece at the back here like the Knights does for the QD sling mounts, which is fine because typically I run them back on my stock, but obviously the LMT doesn't have that. It's as standard. The sights I have on here, the backup sights, are Magpul sights. Didn't come with the gun. This gun does not come with backup sights. It also came with an ambi charging handle. Again, I switched them out. There was nothing wrong with it. I just run Geisley, and so I do have a Geisley one in here. So the charging handles for me are kind of a, they're both with the same. They're, you know, like it's just, they were fine. All right, so on the upper here, you can see we've got all the standard features again, obviously. Forward assist, brass deflector, dust cover, mag release. Now this is where it's going to get interesting. We do have an ambi safety, which are, again, you know, both have that. You have a bolt catch and release on this side, because as you know, if you're charging a hand, or charging the, or trying to pull back and then locking back the bolt, it's kind of a pain sometimes to do that. You kind of require both hands. However, with the Mars LMT, you're just going to pull back on that charging handle, push down, and it locks in place, and it's so much easier. And then you have the bolt release right there. So this is a completely ambidextrous lower from LMT. You have your bolt catch and release here, your mag release there, and your ambi safety. So for me, the lower portion of this, the lower LMT absolutely wins the lower for me. I think it is the better lower. Yeah. Going to the trigger, it's another two-stage trigger. So this comes standard with LMT. You got first stage, and then you've got the brake, which is not too shabby. You got a little bit of let out, and a positive and tactile reset. I would give the edge to the Knights trigger personally. In that battle, the LMT trigger is not bad either, but I just feel like the Knights just has it by a hair. So, all right, now going to the upper, this is a monolithic upper. So with the Knights, it was your handguard, and then you've got the upper receiver it attaches to, so it's two pieces. Monolithic upper, all one piece. So there is no break here. This is just a solid upper, which I do like monolithic uppers. They're a little bit more expensive to make, I believe. I'm not in that field of making them, but from what I've heard, they are a little bit more expensive to make. But they do come with a lot of benefits. So if you're running a scope up here and there's no break, you know, you can, since there's no break, you can run mounts all the way along here, wherever you want. There's no chance of this rotating and throwing your aim off or anything like that. So very cool indeed. It's got a quick detach barrel system as well with these two torque screws right here. Take these out, you can change your barrel out and things like that. So it's very nice. The upper and lower receiver, there's absolutely no wiggle in there, which I love, love. And then underneath this short handguard. Now the reason it's short, and one of the reasons I was thinking was to keep the weight down a little bit, but somebody kindly pointed out in the comments when I reviewed this, it was probably because with the, you know, so when you're changing the barrel lengths out, if this was obviously a 16-inch and you wanted to put an 11.5-inch on this and SBR it, obviously you couldn't do that because the rail would be too long, and that's why it's here. Makes complete sense to me now. So yeah, so that makes complete sense. Anyway, so that is why it's shorter. Now you may or may not like the length of this handguard. Originally when I seen LMTs, I was like, I didn't love the length of the handguard being so short, but honestly, since I've owned them, fired them, it does not bother me in the slightest. Now with the barrel, both barrels are chambered in 5.56. This is a 1-in-7 twist. It's not Cold Hammer forged, but LMT does their own specific barrels and how they treat them and stuff. Both barrels are going to last you, unless you're a very, very avid shooter, probably they'll last you a lifetime. This does come with an A2 birdcage on the front here, as you can see. Now, going back to the bolt, it's a standard bolt. So when I say it's an LMT bolt, but it's a standard bolt, it's not proprietary. You can put any BCG in there that you like, which for me is a Pro. Which is a Pro, as I say, with the CAC, you know, proprietary parts. Yes, the bolt is incredible, you know, but it is a proprietary part. So if it breaks, you're going to have a little more harder time finding that part. And then, as I say, with the rail, you've got M-LOK slots all the way around to attach whatever you need. And it does come, this is an LMT grip right here. This does come standard with it also. I actually really like these grips. I probably wouldn't switch that out, just a personal thing again. So, as I said, there's pros and cons to both, right? And let's go over the pros. It's funny because The pros and the cons for this one are kind of in the same thing, right? The pros is an excellent bolt, and then it's got obviously a great gas system and things like that, but the part is it's proprietary parts for me, and that's kind of the only slight downside. Again, if these parts were more readily available, that would be a lot nicer, and I don't like particularly a little bit of wiggle between that upper and lower. But there's a lot to love on that rifle. Negatives with the LMT, it is slightly heavier, and again, you may or may not like how short the rail is here. So, you know, the question is, which one do I prefer? And I really prefer not to choose one because I really do love both. LMT is definitely more readily available than the Knights. As I said, the Knights are a pain in the butt to get a hold of. If I had to choose one, I don't know. I don't know. I do absolutely love both of these rifles, and I really don't know which one I prefer. If I had to choose just one, I really don't know if I could choose. I love both of these rifles, and I know it seems like a complete cop-out, but I do really like both. Actually, a lot of people suggest that, you know, take the upper from a Knights and put it on that Mars lower, and then you have the perfect AR-15. Maybe they're right. Maybe that is the way to go. But as the complete rifles, I honestly, again, pros and cons to both. I love the Mars L lower. I think it's better, obviously, than the Knights lower. I love the bolt, even though it's proprietary. I like the rail and the gas system on this, but then the LMT is no slouch either. I don't know, man. How do you tell which one's better? Both are great, honestly. And again, I feel like I'm copping out here. But tell me which one you prefer. If you've handled both, or, you know, just kind of what I've told you about both here, which one do you prefer? You know, price point, if you can get them MSRP, which is almost impossible for the Knights, but if you do, they're supposed to be about the same price point. But you know, with the Knights, you're typically not going to get them MSRP, and you're going to have to pay over the cost. But again, if you were able to buy them, they should be the same price MSRP if they were both readily available, but they're not. So anyway, all right, folks, cop out, sorry, but please let me know your thoughts on which one would win for you, and comment down below. All right, folks, thanks for watching. Have a great one, and I'll catch you later.